coming up. I still have one family that. You know what, Mark, can I tell you that this is why you would not want? Because I'm here come to you, anybody else shoot me.
Seems as if the person is there's no one on top of the vegetable market as compared to this morning. Well, that's not correct. We have 4 police officers and we see a strong reinforcement of the black squad. I was up here earlier this morning and now it's after 2 minutes to 3. So we see the police in discussion with Major Sinclair Leacock. And the gates of Parliament is locked.
Sharp, you're right. That's good. When you want to be there,
So unlike this morning where we had a crowd upstairs, now we have seem to be military personnel. Doesn't appear to be local. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, blocking me.
Just moving the camera around. I'm now on the vegetable market side of the road.
Yeah, you see what happened, Williams? The big problem in St. Vincent is that we have only had independence for 40 years. The British give us this rubber stamp constitution, but they haven't been able to give us the conventions. And you don't get convention in 40 years. The politicians fool our people, starting from the first Prime Minister, Cato, right down. England lost a king during their days. So they have the convention built up, Whitehall. We can't even make our final judicial court, the Caribbean Court of Justice. So we have a problem. But it's our people. Like in St. Vincent and Grenadines, I still feel it's the people. Look at the skewed situation. The urban constituencies are sensitized enough to look to comrades and his nonsense. The Grenadines is not supporting mainland. So we have not been able to tap on our resources in the Grenadines. Why? Barbados using the Grenadines, St. Lucia using the Grenadines. And we are missing out. All the Prime Minister could talk about in the Grenadines is selling land. As you know, I worked for 2 years in Union Island with Barclays. I know the potential those islands could give, but we're not using it, all because of parochial politics. And that's our problem here. This left of center government has failed the people from a project standpoint. You and I came from JCs, right? What happens is that you have to optimize the resources in your country for your people, and we haven't done that. And all we have here, as Chuck does say, is land, sea, water, and sand, and we haven't used it well. Come back to the mainland now. He said, if you go back to his in the Hansard, you'd see that he said that he's going to change the thing from an agriculture-based economy to services. Services. Look what St. Lucia has done with bananas. We're exporting bananas to St. Lucia for domestic consumption because they can't even fill their market going back to England. They can't fill their quota. It's the only one of the islands now. When I left the Willow in 1992, we had 100 and close to 20,000 people. Now the population could just barely make 100,000. The ladies are migrating. The females, sorry, are migrating. So it's all those we call it infrastructural deficiencies. And what we get in the parliament is a whole set of platitudes. Look at that, the embarrassing thing with the lady, our speaker. That's her power base. She has to understand, it goes back to the convention I spoke about it. She is the speaker. They'll have to go back to parliament and vote her out. But they so sink and hook up under the Labour Party, the government in power, that they can't see the power and the stature in the legislature. But you see, our problem is that we are hosts of problems, and it's people like me and you not being able to solve it. I was speaking to Sean Stanley the other night, and they're so hooked, Comrade have them so hooked on their ways. I don't know why. There's not enough people. St. Vincent is an 8-4 country, and there's not enough people doing things in the non-governmental area. Volunteer work now. I did my bit, you know, I came from sports and that kind of thing, so I fighting up. I'm a grandfather and that kind of thing now, so but I'm just trying to tell people, you have to want it more than the politicians. You see what happened with 97.1? Tukul said that he's not coming off of the lady senator issue until he gets some redress. The people, you see, the reason why this is slightly different is because you can see something. You can see the injury on the guy. That's tangible. So that helped people understanding why this thing is a calamity. Calamity because they said that 4 people were involved. You, me, our visitor, we can't know who is the 4th person. We only know 3 people. And that's a problem. No justice, no peace. Now we have to climb down from not dealing with the issue. And well, this is spin, a classical spin. She has taken a leave of absence. Which kind of take a leave of absence? He asked her to stay out to the public eye for a month. But this thing would drag on beyond a month. She can't come back to work in the parliament until this matter has moved along. What is the sense she's coming back if the thing is sub judice? She needs to stay out there and go on the beach or something like that until the matter is finalized. So it's all those inherent issues that's holding back this beautiful country, beautiful place, you know. But we are not doing what we want to do because our people, we have not fought for anything. We can't even put together a good demonstration. You think this could have been St. Lucia, down in Castries?
And why you just made a statement you can't even put together a good demonstration. What is the reason for that?
Well,
from your perspective?
Yeah, it's a multiplicity of reasons. But I told my people, my party leaders, we have to lead the way. We the alternative government. So, you know, we put in a little, what should I say? We put in a little face, right? But the bottom line is that we have to have more of these. Major Leacock said that if the girl comes to parliament, he's going to shut down things. So, you know, it was a euphemism. The bottom line is that Congress postponed the meeting for last Tuesday. Give him enough time to get more tactics. The meeting is on today. I guess he couldn't push it out for any other. But he brought the meeting because before the meeting, the precursor to the meeting was her announcing that she's taking a month off. We have to take some of the blame. When I say we, I mean the NDP, the opposition force, have to take some of the blame for the melees because it means that we have not been able to get enough of our supporters to come out and do what is necessary, which is to put the only thing you have in a democracy. Show your power base. And we haven't been able to do that. So all I can say to you from that particular standpoint is that no justice, no peace. But in addition to that, we have this representative government which is constituency based. This is a skewed analysis of what is happening in the country because the government of the day has not been able to win the urban constituencies. The only outlier you can say is West St. George, and that's a real outlier because that constituency has the whole, what should I say, cosmopolitan population distribution with all stratas of this Vincentian society, but they still vote for the Labour Party government. I don't know why. So that's what I would say with regards to answering that question, because the people in the political arena have not put the maximum amount of pressure on the government of the day. We just did a little bit of pressurizing, and look, we got the Prime Minister to climb down off of the situation regarding the senator, the female senator, what is it? The Deputy Speaker of the House, taking a leave of absence. And that's good spin, eh? She volunteered. Yes. Williams, with regards to the integrity legislation, what you have happening there is government, sarcastically I sympathize with her because he has so much on his plate. This country has suffered so much under his administration because with the decline of banana and his 180 to go in the area of social services, the only businessman he has really in his pocket is Courage, my contemporary Joel Providence. I mean, he has backed the government from day one and he is climbing down. May the Lord bless his soul. But what I'm saying is, other than that, the other businessmen, they're not really supporting government. I was speaking to a businessman, a certain businessman in Kingston. He has a monopoly virtually because, well, it's not really a monopoly, it's monopolistic business with what he sells on Halifax Street. So he said, don't come talk to me till you tell me you're going to win the elections. And I say, well, we're working on that. But people are ready and willing. It's for us now to put in all the tactics that we could muster and strategize. Medium term, long term. Integrity legislation is not going to come in unless the government of the day wants it, because, hey, why not? James Carville in the United States said it's the economy stupid. For integrity legislation to come to our beautiful country, it has to be the will of the government in power. It's the arithmetic, stupid. We don't have the arithmetic in our favor, so we can't be the one to be, we can't be the proponents of that. We could only support it. It's a small island territory. You don't get those things unless government of the day wants it, because remember they have the arithmetical majority. And you see it in all the historical issues that have come before. Well, I mean, I did sciences in school, but Dr. Eric Williams said it from Columbus to Castro. When a person put themselves up to represent people, when they leave that representation activity, they should not have been able to accumulate 5 times of what they had going in, because they go to serve the people. When you come out of politics in that cycle and you have more of a vote than you should have, it means you corrupt. And that's what you have in all these small island territories. You call them SIDS. People are going into politics in these developing countries just like people in the developed world, because politicians globally are not well paid. They're not supposed to be. Their job is supposed to hold on something called political power. And then the system, the economy, the circular flow would take care of the economic power. And that is the big thing in Western democracies. You have to have the money working hand in hand with the political forces to create the upward spiral for your society. And Blaise Williams wrote an article years ago. I was still a schoolboy in grammar school. There is the big difference between economic growth and economic development. What this country lacks solely is development. You mean after 20 years of this experiment, Vincentians can't open their eyes and see the need a new Ackenton? We need a new sheriff. Doc Williams again said in these small island states you need to have one big man on campus. At the time, look around the Caribbean, look at the history. The opposition is not strong until they get power. And then we saw it with Kennedy St. Kitts. He ruled the ruthlessly until what's his name came and took over from him, the doctor. And the doctor stayed until overstayed his time. And you have that same history. Look at the Bahamas with Pingling. So Comrade might have to go out by default because he's not physically able. And that is going to pull him down. Because if the body is weak, the mind is going to suffer. So we could only hope that with the agitation that we're trying to put on now for the Vincentian Society, they would give us the opportunity. Because we can't kill the Vincentian people here, because we need them to support us with our plans. I told a young lady over the weekend down in Lehi, I said, "Ma'am, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't agree with you. But I am not going to kill you because you have not seen anything other than the Labour Party running the country." And that's the problem, perspective. So Mr. Clark, come talk to me again because you sound interested. And those are the kind of things you have to do with young people. There was this topical issue on the radio, 97.1 with regards to accent calypso for soca. I don't know if Luke Boy smoked dope or something like that. What's wrong with him? And he feels, I like his confidence in him. He feels how he had the majority of Vincentian. But I would like to get in the program and say my 2 cents about that. So it's the development that is holding back this country. Our population is going down, so we have less to work with. And all that can't be right. And we have a skewed mentality coming from our Prime Minister. A learned man. I don't think he's stupid. But you see, with that left of center type of philosophy in a thriving capitalist democracy, and he needs one of the things I thought Dr. Friday did well was to communicate with the outside world regarding the same topical issue regarding the senator. Because when you see, he has to be liked by his comrades, because he has to get as much money from all over the global community, and he's pragmatic. I've heard some of his speeches and you take that how he's a big capitalist. But that's good politics and that is good leadership. I don't agree with it, but we're suffering here. When I joined Barclays in 77, Halifax Street was the main branch, the major branch in the Windward Islands. I'm just telling you that to say, look where our economy has slid to. Yes, we lost bananas, like Grenada, like Dominica. But the question is, this is the rhetorical. Why is it St. Lucia could still be exporting bananas and we kind of, with all this volcanic soil? How could St. Vincent get by without agriculture?